All right, good morning. The event is recording and we have started. My name is Luke Thornton and I'm the Community of Care Coordinator for Douglas County, but today I'm helping out with the tech side for WebEx and I am your host. And if you have questions, you can send them to me directly in the chat, and you can also raise your hand if you have a question. Send the chat button, and the hand raising button is down in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. So when we have time for questions, again, please send them directly to me in the chat or raise your hand and I will call on you when it's time. And without any further technical updates, I will hand this over to Gretchen Lopez.
May meeting of the Seniors Council of Douglas County. My name is Gretchen Lopez, and I'm the current chair of the Seniors Council, and happy to be so. And we're so glad you could join us this morning. As always, we are sincerely grateful for the technical support provided by the county and our county commissioners so that we can come to you today. We couldn't do it without their support. So let's begin with several important announcements. As you may know, May is the month we traditionally honor our 60-plus citizens. When Older Americans Month was established in 1963, only 17 million Americans had reached their 61st birthday. We are well beyond that today. Each year, as our theme, there's a different theme, and the theme for this year is Communities of Strength. This theme emphasizes the strength of older adults and the aging network, with special attention to the power of connection and engagement in building strong communities. Celebrations across the country include proclamations, ceremonies, events, fairs, and many other activities. The Seniors Council would like to join the celebration by expressing our appreciation for older adults by reading our Declaration of Support. Whereas Douglas County, Colorado has one of the fastest growing older adult populations in the country, with the population age 60 and over expected to be 25% by 2030. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Douglas County has recognized by resolution May 2021 as Older Americans Month, and whereas Douglas County includes a community of older adults who have built resilience and strength over their lives through successes and difficulties. And whereas the Seniors Council recognizes that the community benefits when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds are included and encouraged to share their successes and stories of resilience. And whereas the Senior Council recognizes the need to nurture ourselves, reinforce our strength, and continue to thrive in times of both joy and difficulty. And whereas the Seniors Council acknowledges the value of older workers as part of our local businesses and a thriving economy. And whereas the Seniors Council can foster communities of strength by creating opportunities to share stories and learn from each other, engaging older adults through education, recreation, and service, and encouraging people of all ages to celebrate connections and resilience. Be it known that the Seniors Council of Douglas County is committed to supporting the month of May 2021 as Older Americans Month, and will take time this month to acknowledge older adults and the people who provide services to them as powerful and vital individuals who greatly contribute to our community. Presented this 6th day of May 2021 in Castle Rock, Douglas County, Colorado. If you'd like to read copies of this declaration and the County Commissioner's proclamation, they will be attached to this month's First Friday update, which will be going out tomorrow. So if you don't already receive our newsletter, at the end of today's meeting, there'll be an address for you to sign up and you can get copies of those. Now, as an example of older adults building stronger communities here in Douglas County, we've invited Donna Forrester, our former chair and leader of the Parker Center Center's fundraising initiative, Shoe Us the Love, to give us a progress report on their efforts. Donna, how's the project going?
Mute. Oh, thank you, Luke. I was trying to figure out how to unmute. I apologize. If you all remember in March, Gretchen shared with you our initiative to have a shoe drive. And our intention at that time was to collect 2,500 pairs of shoes, which sounds rather daunting. We put out collection boxes in over 30 locations in and around Parker. And the way that the program works is that we collected shoes from the communities, and then we have to sort through them to make sure that the shoes are in good condition, gently worn condition, or brand new. We did receive a lot of brand new shoes, still in boxes, as a matter of fact. And then we bag them up in bags of 25, and you'd be surprised at how heavy a bag of 25 shoes can be, especially with work boots and cowboy boots and things like that. The kiddo shoes are pretty light, but we have had some really heavy shoes. The senior center will get paid by the pound for our hard work and efforts to collect those shoes. So we get paid 40 cents a pound. And then those shoes are picked up by an organization that we're working with based in Florida called Funds to Orgs. And they will then ship those shoes out after they sort through them to make sure that we did our due diligence. They will ship them off to developing nations such as Haiti, Colombia, India, and Tanzania. And this will provide an economic boost in those areas. What the folks there will do is they have small businesses where they will then sell the shoes. So that money will go toward feeding and clothing and housing their families. So the wonderful thing about this is that we're changing lives not only here by emptying out our closets and supporting the senior center, but we're changing lives around the globe, which is very exciting. So we've had incredible response to this. We hit our goal of 2,500 pairs of shoes at the end of March. Now, we ran the campaign through the end of April. That was our intent from the beginning, and that was what was suggested to us by Funds to Org. And as a matter of fact, they provided us a coach to make sure that we were successful, and we were beyond successful. As of Monday, we collected all the shoes from our collection locations and from individual donors, again, around the area. We have over 5,000 pairs of shoes. We still probably have about 200 or 300 that we ran out of bags to bag. So we are expecting to get a delivery today. Funds to Orgs provided all the bags for us. They also provided rubber bands, which might sound a little bit strange, but we use that to pair the shoes so that all the shoes are together. You'd be surprised, we received a lot of single shoes, which I still can't understand why someone would donate a single shoe. But we put all of our rejects and our single shoes to good use as well. We had a member from the Parker Senior Center that drove all of our discarded shoes up to Boulder, and the Boulder Running Company is going to repurpose those shoes for other things. So nothing went to waste. And like I said, we should be getting our bags and rubber bands later today and have our absolute final count tomorrow. But we're very pleased and so excited by the response that we received from the community. So thank you to everyone that participated. We really appreciate the support.
And what a fabulous example of strengthening communities, not only here locally, but as you mentioned, globally,
Right.
in line perfectly with today's or this year's theme, Older Americans Month. So thank you so much for that report. That was fabulous, fabulous. Now, the Seniors Council also periodically presents an All-Stars Award to an outstanding member of our community who has demonstrated a true passion for serving and advocating for older adults, and you can see a picture of the pin right there. So as our part of celebration of Older Americans Month, we have selected a recipient who has served on the Seniors Council in various capacities and continues to assist with our monthly and quarterly educational articles. She has been instrumental in establishing and developing community partnerships. You getting the message, Donna? She's been a volunteer for the Alzheimer's Association for over 20 years, and as you just heard, championed a very successful fundraising effort for the Parker Senior Center. Congratulations to you, Donna, for your ongoing dedication and compassion for our older adults. The hard work and high energy you put into your support of our older population and your creative ideas to keep us all young at heart. You are truly a star in every sense of the word. Let's give her a round of applause. And she didn't know about this, so she is totally caught by surprise.
You're a sneaky little thing, Gretchen Lopez.
Yes, I am, and proud of it.
Oh my goodness. Tissues. Oh, I am
Tears of joy, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
We are so excited for you, Donna, and you deserve all the accolades we can give.
Thank you so much.
I'll get that pin to you soon. We'll make arrangements to have lunch.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you,
You're
everyone. It is a great honor and a great surprise. But I will wear my pin proudly.
Well, best of luck. Now, one of the many events scheduled this month is the Senior Stroll on May 26th, starting at 9 a.m. in O'Brien Park in Parker. This event features a 1-mile easy walk on the Cherry Creek Trail, followed by a free breakfast, safe socializing, and exciting prize giveaways. So come see us at our table and enjoy a fun-filled morning. Again, that's May 26th at 9 a.m. Language is a powerful mechanism and words matter, especially if terms and phrases, although well-intentioned, might diminish older adults and reinforce negative stereotypes. Check out the blog on the website changingthenarrative.org to discover how we may inadvertently promote ageism by how we say things and how we address people. It's a very interesting blog, and I'm sure you're going to be surprised to learn that maybe you've been guilty of using some of these terms, or you've had some of these terms used to you. Now, on a cautionary note, Medicare is sending out reminders to keep your COVID vaccination card safe. Evidently, there are scammers out there using the pandemic to try and steal your personal information. So don't share a photo of your COVID-19 vaccine card online or on social media, or if someone contacts you to buy or sell a vaccination card, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. If you suspect COVID-19 healthcare fraud, report it to Medicare by calling the numbers that you see posted on our screen here, 1-800-447-8477, or for TDY users, 1-800-377-4950. Very important that you report those cases of fraud so that Medicare can investigate and get right on it. And now Tiffany Curtin, our education chair, will brief us on upcoming presentations and introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, Gretchen. So in the next 3 months, our presenter on June 3rd will be Elijah Valdez, and she will be speaking about her organization, Wish of a Lifetime, and making dreams come true. And on July 1st, we will be hearing from Barb Lotz, talking about aging with dignity. And on August 5th, we'll be hearing from Jay Berger, speaking about staying at home and staying safe. So we're looking forward to those upcoming presentations in the next few months. And now I would like to introduce our presenter for today, Colbe Galston. And Colbe is let me get my script for her. Okay. Colbe Galston is the Business Services Supervisor for Douglas County Libraries. She's one of my colleagues. She takes pride in helping local businesses make their best decisions based on accurate and useful information. She graduated from Tulane University and the University of Denver. She likes to read books about fabulous food and dangerous men. And here today, she will be presenting to you about how rich life experiences of seniors can make you well suited to the challenges and opportunities of entrepreneurship, and how to find some resources in order to pursue some of those goals and challenges. So turn it over now to Colbe.
Thank you, Tiffany. I am going to go ahead and share my screen and bring up my presentation here. Again, my name is Colbe Galston, and Business Services Supervisor at Douglas County Libraries. I am fortunate to be able to work with business owners, entrepreneurs, and business support organizations in our community to connect them with the accurate, current, and actionable information that they need to make good decisions for their business. My teammate, Patty Van Eysden, the Business Services Planner, and I work individually with business owners, business support organizations to understand the information need, connect our clients with resources, train them on how to use those resources, and generally provide people the information that's going to help them move their business forward. We also do a lot of work out in the business community. We attend networking events to connect with business owners. We serve on task forces and committees out in the community. And that all serves to provide us with both a deep and broad understanding of the business environment, both here in Douglas County, as well as the broader Denver metro region. And that helps us to connect our clients with the best resources for their information needs. We always say we're a great place to start your information journey, but we may not be where you end. And if there is information that our clients need that is not situated with us, we're going to be able to track down the best resources and connect them individually. The library is also proud to be a partner with many of the resources that I'm going to discuss today, including the Small Business Development Center and all of the Douglas County Chambers of Commerce and Economic Development groups. So the library understands that our business community is an important part of the larger community, and we're really invested in supporting these individuals. I have been fortunate to serve Douglas County in this community in this role for about 10 years. And this last year has probably been the most wild that anybody has seen in recent memory. I don't have to tell you guys what a wild ride it's been, especially for businesses, keeping up with all of the changes in health orders, in funding, and there's been a lot of loss in the business community. I think everybody can probably point to a favorite restaurant or store that has had to close its doors. But in times of great change, there always comes great opportunity. And we have been working with businesses, hearing from businesses who are newly opening during this time. As there's always great change, there comes innovation. People are opening new businesses, they're establishing new technologies. So I'm happy to share that there are people out there opening businesses during this time. For the agenda, to kind of walk you through what we're going to talk about today, we're going to start with a brief look at senior entrepreneurship, kind of as a concept and how it may be different from other business startups in different demographic groups. We are going to talk about the benefits of writing a business plan. I'm definitely showing my bias towards my background and kind of work style, but I'm hoping to convince you of the value of writing a business plan and why it may be an important exercise. We're going to talk about first steps. I always like to leave my clients with some clear next steps in their business journey. And so we're going to talk about what are the concrete actions that every business who opens in Colorado takes to really start a business. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about some of the very specific resources, the library included, which are here to support both startups and existing businesses with research, training, and just about anything anybody needs to answer a question. There is going to be time for Q&A at the end. There is also a document that is going to be shared with all of the attendees that has all of the links and names of the organizations, so you don't have to worry about taking any notes during the presentation. All of that's going to be shared with you so you can access these resources directly. I believe the slide deck is also going to be able to be shared with you, so you can just listen and think of some questions to ask at the end when we can get into some specifics. All right. So, moving forward here, if you were fortunate enough to catch last month's presentation, it was a wonderful panel discussion by 3 senior entrepreneurs, and they shared some really great stories about the rewards of owning a business. And it was such an exciting presentation, and they used words like joy and freedom and connection to describe what it was like owning a business. And I just found that so moving, because those are words that maybe not everybody uses to describe their work. And I think it really speaks to the feelings that people have when they have something to call their own, like a business. Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, which is a think tank located at Babson College in Massachusetts, has studied global entrepreneurship for the last 20 years. And a couple of years ago, they did a deep dive into senior entrepreneurship. And they came up with the statistic, which you'll see quoted all around the internet, that the highest rate of entrepreneurship in the world is located in the age group of 50 to 64. Activity in that age group has increased by 50% since 2008, and there are twice as many successful companies founded by this demographic as there are founded by the age group of 20 to 34. So seniors are really a force to be reckoned with in the entrepreneurial world. Through their research, they also found entrepreneurial behavior of this age group actually looked different than the behavior of younger business owners. This age group had the highest risk willingness of any age group in terms of entrepreneurial activity. And they were also more likely to be social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurship is defined as where the goal of the business is to affect social change instead of profit growth. Business owners in this age group also express more satisfaction with both their job and their life than people in the same demographic who were in full-time employment. So there's a lot of data that speaks to just how rich a return seniors who open businesses are getting on that activity. When they dug into the reasons for this activity, they also discovered, so why is there so much activity among senior entrepreneurship? They really wanted to understand the reasons for this activity. And what they understood was that seniors have a lot of resources that they can bring to bear when they're opening a business. And those resources include things like a lifetime of networks. So seniors who are opening a business are able to draw on all of their old coworkers, their neighbors, friends of their kids, parents of their kids, all of those ways that they can reach out to people who can serve in different capacities. They can be advisors for opening a business. They can be connection points to other people they maybe need to connect with and meet for the purposes of investment or asking questions. Just by having all of those people in their network, seniors are able to draw upon that community to help them start and grow a business. Seniors are also bringing their entire lifetime of assets to bear when opening a business. Having access to capital is obviously hugely important in getting a business off the ground. And seniors may be in a position to have more assets, whether it be home ownership or savings or other assets that they're able to apply towards opening a business. And last but not least, they're bringing that lifetime of experience, like we mentioned in the intro. It may be that their business is a passion that they've had. They're turning a hobby into a business. It may be knowledge that they've gained through their more traditional employment route. But they have that whole lifetime of experience. And I always say, knowing what doesn't work is also an important part of bringing to a business. Having experience of making mistakes and not using those, not applying those in your future business looking forward also can't be discounted when you're starting a new business. One thing they also discovered was, we've talked about all of the benefits that opening a business has for entrepreneurs and seniors themselves, but there's also a benefit to the larger community when a senior opens a business. Bringing all of those resources, that experience, those assets, relieve some of the pressures that an older population can place on a society. So having all of those assets kind of be in play in the economy and the community, whether it be through investment or employment, helps to alleviate some of the pressures that an older population can have. So there truly is a benefit for the entire population when seniors are engaged in entrepreneurship. And the takeaway from the report really was that this unique set of entrepreneurs should be encouraged and supported at every level. There should be programs to support senior entrepreneurs. There may be funding programs dedicated toward them. So this is all just to say it's a very robust environment of support for senior entrepreneurship. There are some specific resources that research and support this group. Again, all of this is going to be on your document, but there is the Global Institute of Experienced Entrepreneurship. They are a very macro level resource. Again, they're looking at entrepreneurship across the world, but they have symposiums, they do research that continues to identify data and supporting materials to speak to outside resources about why this is an important group. They actually have coined the term I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, experienced entrepreneurship to identify exactly what people are bringing it here. And then on the more kind of technical side of things, there's the AARP's Work for Yourself at 50 Plus program. This program is founded by the AARP Foundation. They have a website where they have links to various guidebooks, how-tos, training materials. The program is specifically focused at lower income seniors. So they have a lot of information about how you can begin a business with a very low level of investment, which I think is just smart for everybody to begin to get a business off the ground with as low a level of capital investment as possible. So a lot of information here about why senior entrepreneurship is a powerful source for good in the community. But it's also important for individuals to know their why for entrepreneurship. Any journey needs a North Star, and for business owners to understand what is their goal for their business, why they're doing it, helps with all of the decision making that's going to happen downstream, correct? There's a wonderful resource for Colorado called the Colorado Business Resource Book. Its tagline is that it is the ultimate guide to starting a business in Colorado. And it's a very hands-on guide that kind of walks people through the steps of opening a business, all of the paperwork and decision making. But on the very first page of that resource, there is a checklist that they encourage people thinking about opening a business to kind of questions to ask themselves about why they really want to start a business and how it will impact them and their family. It stresses the importance of really thinking through entrepreneurship, setting goals for a business, and understanding the legal and financial implications of starting a business. And the value of that is that I think it really shows how important that knowing your personal why is and having a clear understanding of the goals for a business moving forward. The opportunities for senior entrepreneurs we've seen look different from other groups. Seniors may have a little bit more flexibility in the goals for their business than people who are starting a business at the same time that they're maybe having to raise a family. Seniors maybe have more of a business that's more of a passion project. They have, had their employment, their standard employment for a long time, and now they're able to do something where they turn a passion or a hobby into a business. But it's still really important to understand what are the goals for the business. What's the level of time, effort, and resources that you're going to put in? Seniors can kind of have a little bit more flexibility, that they can have a side project maybe that stays small and doesn't have to have ever growing profits. It can be a little bit more constrained. But again, it's important to understand all of those choices for yourself before starting a business. That visioning or that self-knowledge piece taking place at the beginning is really helpful when you move into the next parts. So now we're looking at the business plan. This is kind of the next step, right? I'm sure that plenty of people have started a business without writing a business plan. I'm sure that some of them have been successful, but let me encourage you to engage, if you're thinking about starting a business, to engage in some level of business planning. Again, if you tune into the panel last month, there was a part when those business owners talked about what some of the challenges of starting and running a business were for them. And they talked about things like having to identify and use new technology, having to identify and grow certain skill sets to support their business that they didn't necessarily know they needed, establishing systems for their business. And all of those challenges would come to light through the course of engaging of writing and creating a business plan. And you'd hopefully be able to identify some of those challenges and address them through that process before waiting until you're right in the middle of running your business and these challenges come to light. It's important to understand the audience for your plan. If you're writing a plan because you're going to be seeking funding for your business through a bank or through a microfinance institute, they're probably going to require more of a formal, narrative-based, lots of charts and graphs business plan, kind of that standard, 27-page business plan is what everybody thinks of. But if it is a plan that you're writing for yourself or for a small informal group, there are a lot of different styles of business plan, including some that are very lean. There's actually a template called the business model canvas, which is literally a single sheet of paper for a business plan. It has a couple of boxes with identifying the data points needed, but the expectation is that those boxes will be filled in with lists or bullet points of information. It's not that kind of behemoth 27-page business plan, which may be what you're thinking of. I always liken it to a resume. Everybody knows that a resume is going to have certain data points on it, but within those templates, there's a lot of variance. And the same thing is true of business plans. There are as many kind of styles and formats as there are businesses. So thinking about your audience and applying the style that's going to work best for that is helping to identify exactly what kind of business plan you're going to use. But like I said, there's going to be some data points that exist for every plan. The basics are going to include things like a company description, market research, operational questions, and financials. You're taking a 360-degree view of your business. So it's forcing people to look at things that are not just maybe, again, the passion part of their project, what the running of the business that's the most fun or the most desirable, but you're also going to be looking at boring things like paperwork and paying sales taxes quarterly and things like that. Company description is kind of the what of your business plan. What is your business? What is it called? What does it do? Really, as if you would be introducing your business to someone who you just met. On the market research side, there's kind of 4 buckets: customers, competitors, industry, and trends. This is kind of the why of your business. Why do people need what it is that your business is offering? What are the desires, wants, needs out in the wider world that are going to be met through the goods or services of your business? Operations looks at the who, when, where, and how of your business. This is really getting into the logistics or the systems. How does it work? Who is going to do what? Where is it taking place? And then last but not least, the financials. At the very least, people are probably going to be including things like a cash flow, where you're watching dollars move in and out of your business over time, and an income statement, so kind of broad profits and loss figures for your business, so you can really see, is it going to be profitable? It's a lot of work. Writing a business plan is a lot of work, and as an exercise in and of itself, probably not that much fun. But it organizes things, and again, it makes you take a look at all of the parts of running a business. You may have a passion for art or music or teaching people a skill. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to have an understanding of how you're going to invoice clients and receive payments. And that's not something you want to be kind of answering on the fly when you get your first customer. Those are the kinds of questions you're going to want to answer. If you need help setting up a payment system, can you bring on a bookkeeper? All of those kind of questions you're going to want to have answered for your business before you start engaging in that activity, so you can address those questions. Your business plan is really an opportunity to identify what are the opportunities for your business and what are the challenges, and then make a plan, just like it says in the title, of how you're going to leverage those opportunities and overcome those challenges. I always tell people a wonderfully written business plan should be able to be placed in the hands of aliens who came down from outer space, and they would understand how the business works, what it does, who it does it for, and be able to understand the ins and outs of that business. If you're asking yourself, well, okay, but how do I get all of this information? Where do I find the templates? How do I find the data? Let me make the first plug for DCL for Business. Again, that's the business service from Douglas County Libraries. And this is what we do. Patty and I are very well suited to help people begin to fill out their business plan. We have access to templates as well as sample business plans through library resources. Sample business plans are really great opportunities to look at other people's work. What data did they include? How did they phrase things? What data points did they use? And then we have access to resources which are going to help you plug in all of the data points that are going to go right into your business plan. Resources to fill out that market research piece, places where you can identify resources to help with operational questions, all of that good stuff. So now let's take a look at next steps. Let's say you've written your business plan, you're ready to go. How does a business actually start? In the eyes of the wider world, it's not when you make your first sale or when you come up with the name of your business. It's when you register your business with the government and that business becomes a true entity in the eyes of the world. Here in Colorado, that means registering your business with the Secretary of State. It's an online process. There's some forms you fill out. You're going to pay some fees, but basically what you're going to do is create a legal structure that exists in the eyes of the world. You're probably there are a variety of legal structures, and this is again where you're faced with one of those decisions where you may need some information. There is no right or wrong answer. There is only what is best for an individual and your particular situation, because there's legal and tax implications for all of these different choices. So we can help find information. There's information on the Secretary of State that compares all of those legal structures, but that's really where the business becomes a true entity on paper. Next step is to go to the portal My Biz Colorado. And this is kind of a portal that was created by the state that helps walk people through a wizard, kind of like TurboTax, where it asks you some questions and helps a business identify if, based on its individual requirements, it needs to do any more licensing or registration. So you go to My Biz Colorado, it asks you some questions, and it determines, based on the answers to those questions, if you're going to need things like a sales tax license, if you're selling goods, or if you have employees or don't have employees, do you or don't you need unemployment insurance? So it's very useful, it's very simple, it's very slick, and it helps you kind of take care of all of those standard registrations and licensing paperwork at the state level. There may be, based on the need of your legal structure, the need to register your business at the federal level to get a federal tax ID, what's also known as an EIN or an employer identification number. Again, it depends. Not every business structure requires this, but if you go to the IRS and you follow the link, there again are kind of questions it asks, and based on the answers to those questions, you're able to determine if you need that paperwork as well. And then last but not least, some local business registration. Again, it depends. The County of Douglas does not require business registration. So if your business is has as its physical location somewhere in unincorporated Douglas County, you don't have any local paperwork, But if your business is cited in a municipality, then there is some additional registration that's going to take place with that local authority. Again, most of this is online. There's usually a small fee, but they just want to know that you exist. They're checking things like zoning, making sure you don't have, a fireworks factory in a neighborhood, but they are able to help you get all squared away there. And then that's it. Your business exists in the world. It's officially official. And now that business as an entity can start engaging in certain actions. Probably next steps include things like establishing a business bank account. If you're selling goods, you may be wanting to get a wholesaler's license. Again, the business can seek funding at that time. The business exists in the world. And again, so those are some concrete actions that every business who comes to Colorado or is created in Colorado goes through. So here we are at resources. This is the good stuff, right? Okay, so I am going to shift from the presentation to kind of show you some of these resources. So first, again, DCL for Business, the library's information services for entrepreneurs and small businesses. We have a variety of resources specifically dedicated to supporting business. And Patty and I are here to act as your guides to understanding this information, accessing it, whatever it is you need. So we have resources that are dedicated to business, and those resources go across the collection. We still have books on the shelf that talk about starting a business, writing a business plan, understanding marketing, comparing those legal structures like we discussed, access to legal forms. These are going to be things that are on the shelf. These days with our expanded digital collection, you may be able to find these as audiobooks or ebooks that you can get and use those books in a variety of formats. The library also subscribes to a number of commercial databases which provide specialized business information. So these are resources that exist out in the world. They're commercial databases, but the library subscribes to them and makes them accessible to our patrons. And the cost, they would probably be cost prohibitive for individual businesses. So things like very robust industry reports or demographic reporting. And this is where we're going to find the information that you're going to use to plug into a business plan, maybe to create a marketing plan. Established businesses are using these resources to engage in some of their marketing tactics. So these are things that people come to for both startups as well as established businesses. I'm happy to say that all of the resources that are available to any of our patrons with a library card. There's nothing that's kept kind of behind the scenes that only the librarians have access to. We are happy to help people with performing the research themselves. We do offer training, so people who want to fish for themselves can get in and work with these resources. Or Patty and I are happy to also kind of take something off your plate and perform the research on our own and then just deliver it to you. Online here, we have the form for asking us your business question. This is where you can fill out your information. What is your question? It comes directly to Patty and I. I always say this is a great tool for when you can't sleep at night and you just need to get something out of your head. You can send us your business question. Patty and I will contact you. We will go through an in-depth reference interview to gain a really deep understanding of what is the question. You know, sometimes you don't even know what it is you need to know. And then we'll work through next steps. Is this something where we just need to perform the research and send you the answer? Or is this something where we're going to train you on how to use the resources? Or is this something where maybe there's another resource outside of the library that would be better suited to answer your question? And in that case, we'll begin to connect you with that research as well. On this page here, again, you're also being able to reach all of those online resources, direct link to all of those databases and things. And then there's also kind of the general library space that's available, which also supports entrepreneurs. We understand that the library exists kind of as that third space for a lot of people. And we know that there's a lot of small businesses who use our space. We have small study rooms that can be used for up to 2 hours. They're great for doing head down work, maybe a one-on-one meeting, people who just need to get out of the house, access the free wireless, there's printing. We also have larger meeting spaces, and there's a lot of businesses who use that space for hosting events. Those events can be before or after hours. They can be everything from a small meeting to a large catered event. We have an entire events and hospitality team who can work with you to make sure your event is staffed, set up, they handle AV, things like that. So offering that space to the community. Larger level events usually do have a fee, but it's very reasonable, and it's a great way that you can access kind of hosting space for your business as well. At our Parker branch, we have our recording studio. This is a unique space that offers access to AV hardware and software. If you're looking at marketing tactics today, having access to videos or maybe hosting a podcast, things like that. And so the recording studio at Parker has a lot of hardware and software, as well as librarians who are available to train you on how to use that stuff to create some of those kind of highly specialized AV needs. And those are just some of the additional materials that people need to think of outside of the collection or even small business that are available through the library. Again, we've got links are going to be sent to you, but all of that's here on the webpage, dcl.org for business. Next up, the Small Business Development Center. And I cannot say enough good things about the Small Business Development Center, affectionately known as the SBDC. They offer low cost and no cost training and consulting to startups and established businesses. They kind of are a private-public partnership from the SBA, working with local partners. They're regional. The Aurora South Metro SBDC is the one that serves Douglas County. But again, what do? They offer consulting, training, and a variety of kind of workshop-y type program stuff to businesses. The library has been a partner with them for years. Currently, in the COVID climate, they are offering all of their consulting and training online. But when they used to have workshops in person, we would host workshops. Patty and I function as the market research consultants for the SBDC. So anyone who goes to the SBDC who needs help with that market research piece comes back to us. We send clients to them. It's a wonderful partnership, and we're really happy to work with them. But they have people who really are going to work with businesses one-on-one, and they do things like review your materials, review your business plan, review your financials, review your marketing materials, and really kind of offer true consulting and saying go or don't go on some of those things. Patty and I stay really focused on that information piece. They're the people who truly review your materials and tell you how you can make your marketing materials better. They've got all this great information here. They have training classes that are both specific to starting a business. They've got some really great startup classes. They have longer kind of full courses that are multiple classes about writing a business plan. Again, a little bit more formal, but they're doing a lot of work to support existing businesses with understanding and accessing all of the funding that's going through, all of the COVID monies that are out there to support business. And again, they're just staffed by consultants who are business owners, who have owned businesses in the past. And I just can't say enough good things about them. If I was opening a business, I would definitely make a strong relationship with the SBDC. So here, again, this link's going to be for you, but you see under what we do, and then under small business resources, they have things like the Colorado Resource Guide, all of that good stuff. Similarly is SCORE. And SCORE, again, also offers mentoring and workshops. Their model's just a little bit different. They work a little bit more on a volunteer model. So they have, again, people who used to be business owners, executives, and they work with individuals. Again, everything's taking place online these days, but you can still find a mentor, take a workshop, or browse their large library of resources that are available. They do not have as big of a presence in Douglas County. They used to work with or have a relationship with the Castle Rock Chamber of Commerce. I think because things are mostly taking place online these days, that may be a little bit looser, but you can certainly browse their materials. I did see when I was checking that their workshops, they have an entire workshop dedicated to the business model canvas. So that's the small or the lean one sheet business plan that I referenced earlier, and they have an entire webinar about how you use that resource. So again, lots of ways you can really apply their training to business startup things. And then under Browse the Library, they are linking to additional resources in the community. So you can things reaching out for funding. Biz Boost is the business resource that's available through Denver Public Library, and get a lot of resources here. And I will share that kind of one of the pluses of having everything take place virtually is that people are able to access resources from around the state, around the metro area, and around the country. So there is we talked about the South Metro SBDC, but there's also a Denver SBDC, and they offer kind of slightly different courses maybe than the South Metro SBDC does. So if you're looking for something specific, you're able to access resources from around the country because you're just getting into things through the computer. So there's a plus side to not meeting in person. It's that you may be able to take courses specific to writing a business plan for a creative business or a restaurant or something like that through the Denver SBDC without having to drive to downtown Denver. And then last but not least, there's always your local Chamber of Commerce. And they are huge repositories of knowledge of what's going on in your local business economy. So they are here, they provide lots of networking opportunities, lots of ways that you can begin to speak with other businesses who are out there, whether you're looking for partners or vendors, or just kind of understanding what's going on in the business environment. They usually have great connections to local government as well. So they may be lobbying on behalf of businesses to, again, support those entrepreneurs, maybe in this case, specifically senior entrepreneurs. And then they also sometimes have access to training as well. So here's the Castle Rock Chamber of Commerce website. Through business development, they have a whole program looking at growing businesses, again, working with mentors, there's specific trainings. Chambers of Commerce are usually membership organizations. So there is usually kind of like a paywall that you hit for free access to some of this information. They want you to become a dues paying member to support the organization. But if you want to connect with a local business community, this is kind of a great way to do it. This is really just the surface of resources that are available. There are so many more specific resources that are out there. These are the resources I'm highlighting because they are really having something for everybody, whether it be a startup or an existing business, all different topics of business, but this is truly just scratching the surface of resources that are out there. Patty and I connect with resources who are specific to supporting manufacturing. There are resources for people who are considering starting and operating a franchise. There's an entire resource that is committed to just helping small business land government contracts, everything from local to federal contracts. So they have a steady contract with a customer and they can able to kind of smooth out their cash flow that way. Whatever you need, there probably is someone out there ready to help. I always tell people though, all of this is really truly education based. Kind of mentioned before, there's a lot of it depends, a lot of pros and cons with all of this business information. But what we're really geared towards providing that accurate, current, and actionable information that's going to help you as an entrepreneur or a startup make those good decisions for your business. This is able to provide you with a lot of information and options, but ultimately the decisions are always in the hands of the business itself. So here we're going to see my contact information. Get this to move forward. Contact information will also be on the handout. I'd love to open it up to questions. I know that there's always individual questions that each business has, so now we can kind of get more specific.
This is Luke Thornton, the host. If you have questions, you can send them directly to me in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I will call on you. So now's the time for questions.
Does anybody have a specific business that they're thinking of starting in a certain industry or a certain business model?
I'm not getting any questions at the moment. You were so effective, Colby, in your presentation.
I was gonna say on the when I watched the video for the panel, there were a ton of questions. So I kind of thought people were gonna come here to get their questions asked.
No, I'm not, no hands raised and no questions, so.
Okay, well, I hope that I've been able to share some information, some next steps for people. I really hope that everybody's leaving the presentation with some action items that they have on their list that they can use. You have our contact information. We're ready and available to answer those questions when they come to you. And I hope I've, at the very least, encouraged people about the importance of writing a business plan. If there's anything I'm an evangelist for, it's that planning piece of starting a business.
Thank you, Colby. Gretchen, back to you.
All right. Well, wow. Thank you, Colby, for sharing your expertise and that wide range of fabulous resources. I know they will certainly be helpful to those of us planning to move forward in our ambitions of starting our own business. That's fabulous. Who knew there were so many resources out there? That's great. You also made an important point that the rest of us should really support older adult entrepreneurship, and because it's a benefit to all of us, everybody in the community. So I was glad to see that. Now, the information Colby shared will be in the form of an attachment to our electronic newsletter, First Friday Update, and you can receive one of those by signing up for those. They come directly to your email address the first Friday of every month. As I mentioned, this month's is going out tomorrow, so you'll get Colby's information there. All you have to do is reach out to us at DC Senior Life at douglas.co.us, and Luke's going to put up a slide with that information. So please remember to join us next month, June 3rd at 10 a.m. for a presentation on Wish of a Lifetime. This is going to be a fabulous opportunity for you to demonstrate your appreciation for a loved one. And you can nominate them, and your nominee just might be selected for an experience they won't soon forget. And since our meetings are recorded, if you'd like to listen to Colby's presentation again, which she had a lot of information, I can understand why you would kind of like deer in the headlights. Wow, didn't know that, right? If you want to hear it again, you can visit our webpage, mydougcoseniorlife.com, to view that and any of our previous presentations as well. Invite your friends and family members to tune in also. Maybe now that we can have more social interaction with our families and whatever, maybe you want to arrange for all of you to watch the presentation at the same time, then have a discussion. So that's an option for you. Would also love for you to place a comment on our Facebook page, My Dougco Senior Life, or visit our YouTube channel for additional information on what we're planning for the next several months. We have a special event coming up in July that you might want to know about. And right now it's a secret because we're working on it, but we'll be launching that special event, information about that special event in July. So thanks for joining us today. Plan on enjoying some of the many special events celebrating Older Americans Month. And as always, stay healthy and stay connected. Bye now.